6, 2011. Inventing your screen with hard-hitting, in-your-face action from KMESA Studios, it's KMESA News, with your hosts, Alex and Pedro and Sarah Young.
Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for joining us again here at the KMESA Studios. It's going to be so fun.
Woo, I love KMESA.
You sure do, hun.
First up, my pocket full of sunshine, Jocelyn Diaz will be giving us insight about the homeless.
You look like you're homeless.
That's not funny.
I think it is.
I think it's the public's fault for the homelessness to do because they're the ones who have to deal with it. They're the ones who see it as a bad thing, so why should the government or someone specific take care of it?
Those people, they're pretty funny most of the time. They got crazy stories to tell. But yeah, some of them are kind of crazy.
Laissez-faire, guys. Let people do whatever they want. Like, they're the ones that decided to be homeless. I didn't ruin their lives. They ruined their own lives, so why should we help them? We should use the money for people that actually work for it.
I feel that the homeless people shouldn't be begging for money since, you know, they're not handicapped or something, so might as well get up and like get a job because you have hands, so might as well use them.
Homelessness has remained a growing concern in the United States, and people's perceptions of homeless people vary from those who sympathize for them to those who feel they are a drain on society. Yet most of us don't realize what factors actually contribute to homelessness.
California has one of the highest rates of homelessness in the nation. Orange County comes in second to Los Angeles for the largest number of homeless people in the state. Stereotypically, people become homeless due to drug addiction. According to homelessresourcenetwork.org, several factors contribute to homelessness, such as mental illness, domestic violence, lack of affordable housing, physical disabilities, post-traumatic stress disorder, and several others.
It's rather unfortunate that we have homeless people in our town, but at the same time, I think people have to realize that they're just like us, and it's not their fault. It can happen to any of us, and there are various causes. I think as a society, as a community, we should really try to make sure that the well-being of our individuals is preserved and kept.
While drug addiction is the most well-known characteristic of the common homeless individual, mental illness is also an extremely common factor. According to CountlessHouse.org, approximately 32% of the homeless population suffer from some form of a severe and persistent mental illness. Though mental illness alone does not directly lead to homelessness, it plays a very important role. Those who suffer mental illnesses have to face certain societal and personal problems, such as rejection from family members, trouble attaining or keeping employment, unstable relationships, and going to school. These, as well as other factors, lead several people to live a life on the streets.
As a community or as an individual, there are several ways we can tackle this issue. Orange County offers various services to help those in need. For example, the Rescue Mission Association provides housing, food, and health care. You can help this issue and those in need simply by volunteering. Jocelyn Diaz, KMESA News.
Thanks, Jocelyn. That was a great story.
Yes, homelessness is a huge problem and it's great that people know the facts about it.
Moving on. Hey, Sarah, what did you do when you were 17?
I'm not 17.
Well, I hope you don't feel left out when Evie Kuros brings us an all-female teacher version of When I Was 17.
I'll try.
Let the drama kick, the drama kick die. Let the drama kick, let the drama kick die.
Well, when I was 17, I lived in a Chicago suburb called Crystal Lake in Illinois.
When I was 17, I grew up right down the street from here in Costa Mesa.
When I was 17, I lived in Clayton, California.
When I was 17, I grew up in Anaheim and I went to Catella High School.
I drove a pretty sweet 1996 Dodge Neon. It was red, it had a plastic bumper.
I owned a white Ford Pinto with a red interior. It was my mom's old car, and when she bought a new car, she handed me down that car.
I did have our old family car, which was a 1967 Buick Skylark, and it was a tank.
I drove a little maroon Toyota Corolla.
Did you have a boyfriend when you were 17?
I did. He was an older man. He went to OCC.
Actually, not until I turned 18.
Well, I did have a few, yes, when I was 17. But I tended to date long, not a ton of guys.
Did not have a boyfriend at that time, no.
Music, yeah, it was the 1970s. So I liked all those bands like Chicago and Kansas and Boston, all those cities, you know. Rock bands. I was not into disco. That was not the thing where I grew up.
I listened to a lot of alternative music. Yeah, I can't remember any of the bands. Most of them don't exist anymore. But it was mainly just like rock and alternative, some oldies because my dad liked oldies.
It was such a huge variety back then. I was everything from Digital Underground to Smashing Pumpkins, Bon Jovi, Michael Jackson. NSYNC was really big right about then, kind of just coming out. Goo Goo Dolls, I loved the Goo Goo Dolls. I was kind of loved every kind of music.
I liked classic rock. My favorite bands were Aerosmith, and they're coming back. I like the Doobie Brothers, Pat Benatar, and Styx.
Actually, when I was 17, I was planning on becoming a pediatrician or a trauma surgeon. So yeah, teacher wasn't really on my radar at the time.
I always loved school and reading and writing, but I never really thought about making a career of it. I first wanted to go do event planning and wedding planning, and so that's what I did first. But I think that I always kind of came back to the love of reading and writing. And so when I figured out that, hey, I could actually make a career out of this, that's when I decided to become a teacher.
Did you think you were going to be a band teacher?
Actually, I did. I pretty much figured that since about 7th grade. It was either that or a rock star, and I really don't have the ego to be a rock star, so I knew pretty much I was going to go into this.
I really liked kids. I worked with camps all the time, and I wanted to be an adaptive PE teacher. So I started working out with kids with therapy, physical therapy, and then that kind of rolled into adaptive PE.
Well, believe it or not, I was a cheerleader as well, and I was in honor society. I was a good student, and I was in yearbook and things like that. So I participated a lot in school activities.
I played 4 sports. I was on 4 varsity teams. I was on volleyball, basketball, field hockey, and softball.
Oh, I was super involved. I was senior class president. I was on the swim team. I was not very good. I got voted most improved 3 years in a row. Woohoo!
I played volleyball, and I also was a member of the Ultimate Frisbee Club.
This is sort of lame, but when we were really bored, we used to collect toilet paper rolls, and we would find houses. And you got to remember, the Midwest had a lot of trees. We'd find a certain house, and we'd literally cover the trees with about 40 rolls of toilet paper. We got really, really good at it, and we never got caught. And I think that's why we eventually stopped, because it became boring.
Okay, so a little while after I got my license, I was driving on this gravel parking lot, and I was supposed to just pull up and stop before I got to this log, because it was like a parking space. And somehow, instead of stopping, I drove faster and drove my car over the log and got it stuck. And my dad had to come with a group of like 6 guys to lift my car off the log, and so I could drive home. That was actually really embarrassing.
I liked school and I liked my friends, but I feel like I became kind of so much more comfortable with myself. 17 was kind of, it's a good year, it's a fun year, but it's also hard because you're still learning so much about yourself. So I would say have a good time, but try not to take yourself too seriously and always be open to growth and change.
What would you tell people who are 17 now?
I would say enjoy it while you can, because you can never go back again.
Wow, we're the same age? That's hard to believe.
You know what, Sarah? I wish I had a portal to send you away from here.
Speaking of which, jerk, Portal 2 just came out, and Steven and Anthony are here to open the portal to our gaming community.
So awesome.
Hi, welcome to Breadstick Apocalypse. We're your hosts, Stephen Wexler and Anthony Field. We'll be bringing you the latest from the technological world.
Today, we'll be bringing you the overview of Portal 2, the newest development from the acclaimed game company Valve.
Take it away, Anthony.
Portal 2 is a physics-based puzzle game wherein a device aptly named the Portal Gun is used to solve various challenges. Although many classic features from Portal have been retained, a myriad of new puzzle components have been added. Included are gravitational attractors, spring pads, hard light bridges, and various colored goops which provide speed and jump boosts. All of these additions breathe new life into the game, providing increased difficulty for its players and new depth into its fun. The game also provides its players with an all-new cooperative mode. The new feature allows friends to team up and tackle challenges together, which would be otherwise impossible. In addition to its improved gameplay, the storytelling of the game has severely increased in quality. The characters featured in the original game have been included, as well as one or two quirky new characters. Overall, the game delivers a dramatic, epic, and hilarious storyline. However, the game as a whole is an amazingly fun experience. Its overall challenge provides for a spectacularly fun time, and its story aspects are amazingly in-depth and entertaining. All gamers, ranging from casual to hardcore, should play this for a one-of-a-kind experience only Portal 2 can deliver.
As you can see, Portal 2 is an excellent game that provides a fantastic opportunity to anyone willing to play it.
Well spoken, Anthony. That's all for Drastic Apocalypse. See you next time.
This is Anthony Field, Stephen Wexler, signing off.
Wow, that's so awesome.
You're so awesome, Sarah.
Both the sports and music teams did podcasts this cycle.
Check them out at schooltube.com/user/KMESA.
Whoa, Alex, have you been working out? You look really good today.
So do you, Sarah. We should grab a cup of coffee after this.
All right.
I didn't want to grab a cup of coffee with you anyway. It's fine.
Anyways, thanks for joining us today at KMESA. I'm sad to say this is our last KMESA newscast for the year, but it's been a great run, and I'm sure things are going to get better in the future.
We'll be holding auditions for on-camera talent after school on Friday, June 17th here in the KMESA studio. Hopefully you're better at this than we are. Okay, for all the news team, this is Alex and Sarah signing off.